must resign or face impeachment.
All right, so Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota was attacked yesterday at a town hall by a Trump-loving, supporting MAGA patriot by spraying her with a mysterious liquid. And Omar herself almost got into a physical altercation with the man before he was apprehended by her security as she continued the town hall. However, what you may not have heard about this story is that MAGA is denying the whole thing and calling it a staged hoax set up to, I don't know, garner sympathy, I guess, for Omar or something. And this includes the President of the United States. Yeah. Seriously, some of this stuff is just completely deranged and really just goes to show you the depravity of these MAGA freaks. So be sure to stick around until the end to hear all about it. But there is so much to get into, so we're just going to dive right in. Here we go. We're going to start with the main culprit in all of this posting and hate-watching Ilhan Omar and calling this a hoax, the conservative commentator and Trump bootlicker, Laura Loomer herself. She went on a tirade about the whole attack, and to be perfectly honest, it's getting a little bit obsessive. She writes on Twitter, quote, "That Ilhan Omar video is so funny. So many laughing and crying emojis. Good for you. I'm laughing so hard at how staged and fake it is. Worst acting ever. So funny I cannot stop laughing at how staged it was. At least make it believable so I can say, oh my, is she okay?" I'm going to stop right here. I think each of these lines is like an individual thought, and if she actually was even more deranged than she is, each of these would have been an individual tweet, but instead she just put them all together. It's giving that right now. If you aren't laughing at this, you can't think for yourself. She's a total liar who is angry President Trump put her fraudster ass on blast. She was not attacked. President Trump was attacked. Charlie Kirk was attacked. Ilhan Omar is just a lying Muslim. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Let's end it on some just super racism there. Let's just go, bam. Let's just go for it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Damn. That's crazy. Also, just the way that she's saying all these, she's so mean-spirited. She's so hateful. She's such a bigot that she can't even like comprehend the fact that potentially someone actually running up to you and spraying a mysterious liquid on you might actually be a serious problem and is a form of assault, right? That could have been a chemical irritant. That could have been, like we don't know what that was. And yet she's just passing it off as if it was some staged event when this guy is a MAGA guy. So what, they hired a MAGA guy who is actually like a Trump lover to go do this thing? She has a whole nother post saying, "This is the most staged thing I have ever seen in my life." Really? This is the most staged thing? This is the most staged thing ever. Okay, sure. "I'm calling for an immediate investigation into whether Ilhan Omar staged the spraying of her body at her town hall tonight to distract from new reports over her marriage fraud and accumulation of $30 million worth of wealth on a $180,000 salary per year." I'm gonna stop it right there. Her husband is worth like 99% of her net worth, right? Because they're married, they share their assets, and her husband actually is independently wealthy, which I thought was something that conservatives actually appreciated in this country, being a self-made millionaire. But I guess not when you're actually like a left-leaning person or a liberal or brown. I guess then it's a bad thing. But Ilhan Omar's wealth does not come from her own like internal stock trading or whatever. She's never actually done that. It comes from her husband's independent wealth that he made himself. So there's that. She has another post saying, "I don't know what's funnier, the video of Ilhan Omar pretending to be sprayed with a syringe shot or the fact that everyone knows it's staged." Not everyone knows it's staged, but again, there's another post. "Nobody cares about your staged victim propaganda. Please go back to Somalia. We are getting really tired of people like you taking up space in our country." Again, just some more turbo racism, just really cranking the dial up to 11 there, just being like, go back to your country. We don't want people like you here. Just like classic, like 1950s and 60s, just levels of like, okay, we get it, you're racist. Cool, you win the racism war. Like, I don't know, like you get top racist now. We'll give you a crown for being the most racist. Like, we get it. Just like leave this woman alone. What has she done to you? Actually, what has she done to you? You're such a hateful bigot online, Laura. And again, she's like turbo posting that this was a staged attack when the attacker is one Anthony Kazimierczak, which is a far-right Muslim-hating and Somali-hating right-wing extremist whose own brother does not talk to him over the fact of how right-wing and conservative he is. And yes, he does support Donald Trump. And yes, he is a huge fan. And yes, he has posted about his love for Donald Trump on social media. Fork found in kitchen. But it's not just Loomer saying this disgusting garbage, but the main man himself. Yep, the big cheese, the head honcho, Mr. Purple Hands himself, Donald J. Trump. Yeah, who, when was asked by NBC about if he had heard about the attack, he said, quote, "No, I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed knowing her." What do you know about her, you disgusting freak? Okay, seriously, like this is the president of the United States spreading this hateful, bigoted, just deranged ideology, spreading misinformation, like he always does, about a sitting representative. A representative, mind you, who faces probably more hate and more racist attacks and smears and death threats than most other representatives do, because she is an openly proud Muslim, Somali, left-leaning brown woman who wears a headscarf, who is, very open about her worldview, and she gets attacked for it again and again, from the president of the United States down to, his bootlickers like Laura Loomer, and just across the board, right? She is a very hated politician on the right, and yet she still continues to push for her constituents. And you can disagree with Ilhan Omar's worldview. You can have a polite disagreement and believe that there's certain things that you don't agree with her on. But then cheering on or calling that her attacker, this was faked and that she did it for attention or something is completely deranged and is not what this country should be. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh also had some racist remarks, surprise, surprise, and he says, "I don't know if the Ilhan Omar thing was staged or not." Okay, thanks for your insightful commentary there, Matt. There's certainly plenty of reason to be suspicious. We know that leftists do these kinds of hoaxes all the time, and Somalis are notorious scam artists. We'll see. Okay, yeah, so wow, all right, so generalizing Somalis into being scam artists when that is not the case at all, and then also saying that leftists do these kind of hoaxes. He, does more crazy, weird shit in the middle there. But then he says, it's all fake. Even if it wasn't staged, though it may have been, it's all fake. Oh, okay. No, this is like the insightful high-level commentary we get on the right here. It wasn't staged, but it was fake. But if it was staged, it's fake and real. But if it wasn't staged, though it may have been, it's still fake. What the hell are you smoking, dude? There's other MAGA creators and commentators and people online writing, another angle of Ilhan Omar being sprayed while she called for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's impeachment. Never believe anything Ilhan does or says. This all could be a hoax she created. Deport Ilhan as soon as possible. Another MAGA account, Clown World. It's actually called that. Do you think this was real or staged? Right-wing journalist Trish Reagan. Ilhan Omar was reportedly sprayed in the face tonight, and she runs after the attacker as though she's about to take him out. This is not normal behavior, not even close. No wonder people are asking if this was staged, in all caps. And this was not unexpected, right? An attack on Ilhan Omar was only a matter of time, right? With the amount of hate and smears and things coming towards her. It was only a matter of time before she was attacked, especially if you have the president of the United States saying stuff like this.
They have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan Omar. Did you see that wise guy? She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with the following. The Constitution, she comes from a country that's a disaster. It's considered, I think, the worst. It's not even a country.
He really is just a racist piece of shit, dude. Oh my God. He is the worst. And yet, with all of that, with all of the hate, with all of the attacks and being sprayed, Omar continues her town hall in an act of bravery greater than every Republican politician combined. Take a look.
Please don't let them have the show. Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us.
The dude that attacked her, by the way, is actively being arrested on her left-hand side while she is continuing this town hall, right? Like, he is literally being detained as she's like, no, I want to continue. Let's continue. And then says that stuff right there, right? Because she actually cares about her constituents, something that a lot of other politicians, especially right-wing conservative politicians, can maybe learn from. Potentially. Maybe. Definitely. But across the board, this whole situation really just shows the depravity of MAGA, right? Just the levels, the depths, the disgusting dark places that they will go to just to score a political point, even if it is 100% not true. That is where they're at. They are looking at a fact in the face and then telling their constituents and their voters and their supporters that it's not true, right? That is where we're at. We're seeing it with the ICE attacks and murders. We're seeing it with this attack on Ilhan Omar. We're seeing it with suppression of free speech and Second Amendment rights. This is all happening under Donald Trump and his corrupt regime of his administration. But we all understand that the tides are turning on this, right? People are seeing this for what it is, and they are understanding that Trump is no longer the man he once was, and he no longer has the sway he once had, right? Even just a year ago, the popular mandate is gone, and Trump's power is really dwindling day by day. So they are clutching at whatever they can to score a win, and it just makes them look more and more deranged. But I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. It's a really great way to show your support. And hey, it's free. So do us a favor, subscribe down below, like the video, comment your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And I think that's going to do it for me. I'm Iago Lashua. Have a good day. Goodbye.